Hey everybody, I've done videos for the worst bits of Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, so today I'm going to talk about the worst bits of Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't hate Kingdom Hearts 3, I love this game. It's definitely in my top 10 Kingdom Hearts games, for sure. This might even be my favorite game in the series, and that is taking the story into account, which I think was a letdown. I even made details videos for the worlds of Kingdom Hearts 3, which I do recommend you guys check out, especially for Toybox. But all of that is to say that I really like this game. However, there are some sections of the third game that I really hate. This video isn't meant to be a critique or anything like that, it's just me sharing my opinions on the internet and seeing if other people agree with me. So what are the worst bits? It means exactly what you would think, the worst sections or bits of the game, at least to me. These are all parts that I dislike and think the world would be better off if they weren't in the game. So let's get into the video. So first up on the list is Arendelle, and I have a few issues with Arendelle, but I'll talk about two of them. The first is the downhill jam. I hate auto-scrollers. We aren't in the 1980s and 1990s anymore. This is not something that we can speed up with skill. This is just wasting time as we have to stare at Sora, Donald, and Goofy looking like they are all constipated and need to use the bathroom. Granted, their constipated faces are in HD, which is good, but a lot of hatred for this comes from when I did this on critical mode. And let me say this to you guys, doing this on critical is painful. I know I suck, but this was terrible. I can't be the only one. You die in a few hits, and this is not even related to the main game, which is swinging the Keyblade. This section is just moving the shield left and right and hitting the jump button when appropriate. This sounds easy when I say it like that, but I died so many times here that I still have a hatred of this part of the game, solely because of when I played it on critical over a year ago. Despite beating the game without attacking, I'm not a Kingdom Hearts Keyblade master, as my psychiatrist has told me multiple times for running across the town in my underwear with the Keyblade. Maybe it's from all of the fast food and junk food that I eat, but my reaction time is atrocious in the downhill avalanche, so I fail this more times than I'd like to admit. And again, this auto-scroller just wastes time, as I get to this part and I think, well, this is what I'm doing now. If you guys notice, I'm not playing on critical to record this footage. If I did, there would be a few seconds of gameplay followed by a loading screen, and no one wants to see a loading screen. The next bit that I hate about this level is the underground dungeon, which Larxene makes. I saw the game theory video where he talked about it actually being made by Elso, since Larxene has lightning powers, and it makes a lot of sense, but aside from the dungeon existing not making sense, as one would expect, the dungeon is pretty boring, visually at least. The Tangled World has the forest, San Francisco has the vibrant city, and even the Keyblade Graveyard has atmosphere. The dungeon has nothing. A world that I hate is Deep Jungle from Kingdom Hearts 1. But that world has more detail than the dungeon in Arendelle. Even on repeat playthroughs, I'll at least gaze at Deep Jungle for a few seconds. That doesn't happen in the Arendelle dungeon. I become a speedrunner in the dungeon and run to the end. And yes, when you do get out of the dungeon, climbing up the mountaintop is a delightful treat that was worth the slog of the dungeon. But was it really? Is the price of getting the eye candy on your way to the top of the mountain worth the price of your eyes starving in the dungeon? That answer varies by person, but for me, I just don't like going to the dungeon. Nothing meaningful happens down there and it's just padding for the game if you ask me. When you beat the world, you don't get to take Marshmallow with you. For a stupid snow monster, even Marshmallow knows there's nothing interesting or amusing down there. Next on the list is Kingdom of Corona. I don't hate this dancing minigame, I just feel like it stops the game for 5 to 10 minutes. I might be wrong there as I haven't timed it yet, and the dancing minigame is fun, I will admit that, and it fits thematically with the story as you're having fun before Sora and gang have to fight at night. But why is it here? This would be one of the best minigames in this series if it was optional. I'd lump this dancing scene in with the singing minigames from Atlantica and Kingdom Hearts 2, but as we all know, Atlantica was optional, and I might be in the minority here since Melody of Memory exists. And people seem to like it, but please no more singing and dancing. I've seen people complain about having the scene from Frozen where she sings Let It Go, and the scene where Sora and friends see her singing the same Let It Go song, and how the game just copies the movie, but I 100% prefer that. We can skip the cutscene. Sure, it took one poor animator months of his life to look at the frozen cutscene and recreate it frame by frame, and I thank him for that, but we can skip the dancing minigame in Tangled. I can't be the only one that hates this bit. It isn't even hard, it just wastes time that we could be playing the actual game instead of dancing with the random village people. There aren't any rewards for doing this, and after you do the dance in the story for the first time, you will never get to have Rapunzel in your party again. So dance at your own risk, as this is the dance of death for your party. So I actually don't like Port Royale in Kingdom Hearts 2. Nothing very specific here. I just don't like it as a world, as it's dark and I really hate dark levels. Growing up, I couldn't see anything in dark levels, since I played during the daytime and there was a lot of glare on the TV. I also haven't seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, so I have no nostalgia for the characters. I only saw the first movie once over a decade ago, so I wouldn't say that I'm a fan. That being said, I think the Caribbean is one of the best worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3. It starts with a bang with Sora running on an ocean of sand, the dragon boss fight, and the race with Luxord. It's all spectacle and set piece after set piece, and I really like it. And this world really moves at a fast pace until you get to Port Royale, where you have to do the Great Crab Hunt, which is the worst bit of this world. I really don't like the crab hunt. If it was 50 crabs, then okay, I can't complain. But we have to get 300 crabs. When I'm playing this game for fun, I immediately go to the fort to get the barrels of crabs and work my way back to the ship, as I want to minimize my time doing the hunt. This is fun the first time you come to Port Royal, because you get to experience the port, but doing this over and over again on repeat playthroughs isn't fun. I still don't know the speedrunner route to get all of the crabs in under a minute, so I usually will spend time just running around the area hoping to get some crabs. Honestly, when I get here, I always say to myself, alright, I'll do the stupid crab hunt. I don't really look forward to finding the crabs, as I know it's a matter of time before I find them. I personally just don't like it, as I think the requirements are too much. Like, I'd rather sail on the ship and collect the crabs that way and get 500 crabs instead of 300, as I think the ship mechanics are good. Sure, it might be slower than getting crabs in Port Royal, but I like playing the kids' version of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and there are also so many crabs on the random islands in the Caribbean, which to me is more fun to get than running around Port Royal on my 100 playthrough. I mean, you even get crabs from defeating enemy ships, so screw running around Port Royal. Why run when we can sail? The 100 Acre Wood is just a disappointing world to me. This world has always been one of my favorite worlds in prior games. I don't really care about the Winnie the Pooh cartoon, but the vibe and atmosphere of this world has always been calm and jolly. And I like happy things despite the negative slant of this video and my melancholy voice. In Kingdom Hearts 1, this world was beyond useful, a must visit if you're doing the no attack challenge. In Chain of Memories, this world is not as useful as in Kingdom Hearts 1, but you get some new cards such as the Bambi card and I believe the Spellbinder Keyblade card and some slights just from this world. All of them are useless, but you get something. In Kingdom Hearts 2, and I haven't checked so my number might be off, but I think you can get over 5 AP boosts from this world when you have gone to all of the torn pages, so doing this world is very useful. But most importantly, all of these worlds have a variety of minigames, even in Chain of Memories, that are all mostly enjoyable. Except this one, screw this one, and its trophy requirement. What does Kingdom Hearts 3's 100 Acre Wood have? Nothing. The world is literally one room. So I guess the book that Merlin has back in Twilight Town is one page. And it's all the same minigame, which is just Candy Crush, but with the Winnie the Pooh DLC. The rewards you get from playing Candy Crush are ingredients to give to Remy for food, so you can play another cooking minigame. Just spend 100 money and buy a Koopa coin and you'll be good. I haven't played on level 1 critical yet, so maybe food is useful there, but I don't intend to find out soon. This world just feels rushed and I feel like it could have been better. Like honestly, I would be happier if Pooh's world wasn't even in the game. Like all the effort that Square put into making the minigames on Sora's smartphone, that I'm sure we all played once could have gone into making minigames for Pooh's world. I'm sure we all would have played the different Pooh minigames once, but at least that way the world wouldn't suck so much. I mean, I'm not expecting the downhill jam like this from Kingdom Hearts 2 and big budget Kingdom Hearts 3, but this world just feels like it was put in the game because they needed another Disney World from a past game due to a contract issue. But they realized a few months before release, they were running out of time, so they gave us this. I shouldn't fault the world too much though. It is 100% optional and you do get to snap a few lucky Mickey emblems, so it's not a complete waste of time if you accidentally go into the world. It just feels like it had so much potential and no one but me seems to care that it is one room, so I might just be yelling into the void at this point. But as for the worst bit of this world, let's just say that I only have problems with one room in the 100 Acre Wood, but everything else is good. So this is a super nitpick and this next point isn't even a worst bit. It's the worst part of the game. I was going to put the Gummy Ship sections of this game on the list, and it kind of is, so it just got demoted to being a dishonorable mention. I actually have very mixed feelings about the Gummy Ship sections in KH3. I'm going to start with the good because I don't want this to seem like I'm just some hater of the Gummy Ship. I like the freedom it gives, and in my opinion, I think the Gummy Ship sections in KH3 are superior than the Gummy Ship sections in KH1 and KH2. KH1 is old school with its literal blocks in space as we fly through. KH2 is action-packed like Resogun, for the 5 of you that know what that game is. And KH3 is epic like it's GTA in space, since it's open world. The feeling that you get in the Gummy Ship as you're exploring space and discovering planets is something that KH3 Gummy Ship sections have that other Kingdom Hearts games don't. I like finding the Final Fantasy constellations in KH3 after I saw a video about where they were on YouTube, and I enjoy just flying through space on my first playthrough. After beating KH3 once, I don't really care about the Gummy Ship anymore. I don't want to explore space and I just want to get to other planets as fast as possible, as I'm playing this game because I want to play as Sora. If I wanted to fly around, I'd play Ace Combat, and if I'm too cheap to go all in with an aeroplane game, I'll get GTA San Andreas and put in the cheat code to make my car fly. So because I like to replay Kingdom Hearts games, I still prefer the Kingdom Hearts 2 Gummy Ship missions. And I might be wrong on this, but I don't think I am. This is why I hate the Gummy Ship sections in Kingdom Hearts 3. In order to land in a world in Kingdom Hearts 3, you have to literally land in the world before. As an example of what I just said doesn't make sense, when you're in the second galaxy and you fight the boss to unlock the Monstropolis planet, you can't then fly to Arendelle to unlock that planet and land in. You must land in Monstropolis, watch the first cutscene, fight everyone, and then find a save point to warp back to the Gummy Ship in order to warp to Monstropolis from the galaxy menu. If you don't land in Monstropolis and instead just beat the Gummy boss and you decide to go to Arendelle, you will have to fly all the way to Monstropolis to land and start that level. I really hope that made sense. You must enter a level in order to warp there. You can't just fly your ship away. I really don't like this, as I don't like the Gummy Ship sections. I prefer to just get them out of the way as I don't find them enjoyable and would rather just go from Arendelle to Monstropolis, instead of Arendelle to flying the Gummy Ship to then have a Gummy Ship boss fight before landing in Monstropolis. I know this is a super nitpick and I hate pointing back to KH2, but it solved this problem. You could just do the Gummy Ship missions and then not have to use the Gummy Ship when switching worlds. I don't know why KH3 makes us have to land and start the world story in order to warp to other worlds. I really just want to get the Gummy Ship stuff done without having to wait in load screens and pull me out of the world. I know that my point is a nitpick and moot after you enter and leave a world, and most people probably didn't even know about this or care, since you guys are normal and finish a world before unlocking a new world, but this is why I hate the Gummy Ship missions. It's still better than KH1, as we have the Warp Gummy from the start of the game in KH3, and there's no BS like in KH1 with getting the Neverland ship or hoping Monstro doesn't appear, as we have actual planets, but this is still something I hate about this game. And that's my list. Those are my worst bits of Kingdom Hearts 3. Again, I wouldn't say that I hate any of these, with the exception of Arendelle's downhill jam, as I hate auto-scrollers, but these are the sections that I believe the world would be better without. Do you guys disagree or agree with me? What are some of your worst bits in this game? Doesn't have to be terrible to play through, just parts of the game that you dislike going through again or have disliked playing. That's all I've got today, guys. Comment down below telling me what you guys dislike about Kingdom Hearts 3. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching.
See you soon.